In the wild, a single moment of inattention can trigger a fierce confrontation. As a predator closes in, its adversary instantly shifts to a defensive stance, with every movement shaping the unfolding situation. While raw power exerts pressure, it is instinct and timing that dictate how each species reacts. When the attack truly begins, what factors will determine which side gains the upper hand? On the vast grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, where visibility is excellent but hiding is difficult, and water sources determine movement, lions rely on their incredibly strong forelegs to exert force when pouncing, their bites reaching approximately 650 pounds per square inch, and their claws retractable during attacks. This utilization of the open terrain and pressure from multiple directions gradually closes the distance between them and the buffalo herd, making safety impossible. As soon as the distance becomes unsafe, the lions maintain their positions around the downed buffalo, observing the remaining herd while coordinating their efforts to corner the buffalo. The buffalo herd returns to rescue the buffalo, repeatedly butting and threatening, forcing the lions to split and then close in rhythm. Each close approach shakes the situation, but the encirclement is maintained, creating a stalemate that is difficult to break. When the stalemate no longer offers an opening for reversal, the buffalo herd gradually retreats from the area. The lions retain their food and maintain control of the scene. There were no prolonged clashes beyond the limits, and no animals were seriously injured. The outcome was determined when the lion secured its prey and the buffalo herd was forced to leave. After the buffalo herd was forced to leave, it was evident that the open environment required close coordination from the lion, while the buffalo relied on collective strength to exert pressure. When the pressure was insufficient to reverse the situation, each side maintained its boundaries, and the survival situation remained stable. On the vast grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, the long-distance visibility and few obstacles make any movement easily exposed early on, so hyenas maintain constant movement to facilitate long-distance pursuits. The pack is led by females, with a clear hierarchy, tight coordination, and a rhythmic pressure-generating force. The synchronized movement closes the distance, forming a circle around a lion. As soon as the circle around the lion begins to close, the hyenas approach in rhythmic movements, harassing and changing direction to disrupt its stance. The lions held their position and signaled to their pride, while the encircling pack gradually closed in, applying pressure from multiple directions, leaving no stable gaps and forcing the hyenas to constantly shift positions. When the pressure reached a point where it could no longer be sustained, other lions appeared and counterattacked simultaneously, breaking the hyena formation and creating space. The hyenas lost their momentum and were forced to retreat, freeing the lions, and the pride regained control of the area. The outcome was determined when the hyenas could no longer re-establish the encirclement and had to leave. From the inability to re-establish the encirclement, it can be seen that the hyenas relied on numbers and coordinated attacks to exert pressure, while the lions relied on teamwork to reverse the situation. When one side lost its momentum, the situation changed rapidly, and the struggle for survival continued. On the open grasslands of Yellowstone, visibility is good, but the weather changes drastically between hot and cold. A buffalo, weighing between 450 and over 1,000 kilograms, stands in a vast space, its front shoulders thrust forward, its sharp, curved horns maintaining distance. When faced head-on, every step becomes precarious, and the distance narrows, no longer safe. Just as the distance becomes insufficient, an elephant suddenly accelerates, charging straight ahead and closing in almost instantly, without any probing. Before the buffalo can even turn, it is forced back step by step, each time it tries to maintain its position. The thrust increases, disrupting the surrounding formation, and the repeated pressure leaves the buffalo with no room to maneuver. With no room to hold, the buffalo is forced to retreat further from its original position. The elephant stops after a few close approaches and then leaves while the buffalo cannot return to its original position. There was no prolonged conflict, and no one was seriously injured. The outcome was determined when the elephant completely overwhelmed the buffalo and forced it to leave the area. In the swamps, rivers, and freshwater lakes of Florida, alligators stay close to the water's edge, where visibility is limited and the water conceals their bodies. They live solitary lives, not in groups, and can lie motionless for hours observing their surroundings. This prolonged patience makes the area an easily identifiable and elusive approach point. From this elusive approach point, when an alligator gets close to a lion pride's food source, the lions immediately disperse to investigate, maintain distance, and observe the lion's reaction. When the alligator opens its jaws defensively, the lions simultaneously approach from multiple directions, maintaining constant pressure and forcing it to retreat towards the water. In this forced retreat, the alligator goes underwater to maintain its environmental advantage. The lions stop and retain their food with no significant injuries or actions exceeding the limits. The situation remains stable as each side stops at the correct position. From the way each side stops at the right position, the situation is determined by the environment and their habits. Crocodiles control in the water, lions control on land. Neither side maintains an advantage when leaving suitable conditions, and it is this clear limitation that keeps the state of survival stable. Near large water sources, where there are bushes and pastures providing ample food and shelter, elephants maintain a stable rhythm in their familiar space. Normally, they are calm, well-controlled, and avoid collisions. But when threatened or needing to protect their offspring, their reaction becomes aggressive and unyielding. This change quickly closes the distance between the two males, pushing the situation straight to a confrontation. As soon as the distance narrows, the two male elephants charge at each other, using their tusks to push and twist to gain position. The younger elephant continuously presses, trying to force its opponent back, but the larger one maintains its balance, waiting for the right moment to counterattack with a powerful thrust, causing its opponent to lose balance and be forced apart, drastically altering the course of the confrontation. When the confrontation could no longer be sustained, the young elephant turned and retreated from the area. The larger elephant maintained its position and did not pursue further. There was no prolonged clash, and neither elephant sustained serious injury. The outcome was determined when the larger elephant maintained its dominant position and the young elephant left. In the African savanna, where wide grasslands allow for the detection of danger from afar and areas of sparse forest exist, rhinos maintain a direct line of motion in the open environment. Rhinos are highly sensitive to unusual signals, their primary reaction being a straight charge, without dodging, and exhibiting strong territoriality. The pace is relentless, distances are shortened step by step, and the situation quickly escalates to a point of confrontation. When the point of confrontation is near, the lion pride is forced to react immediately, spreading out to maintain distance but remaining within the area. Each time a rhino charges, the formation breaks in an instant. One lion holding the food is forced to drop it. The remaining lions quickly retreat and circle back. But the next surge follows immediately, creating continuous pressure with no respite. When there is no longer any room for pressure to ease, the rhino continues to push the lion pride further away from the area. The lions are forced to retreat, abandoning their food. There was no prolonged conflict, and no animals were seriously injured. The outcome was that the rhinos held onto the area and the lions left. A body over 3,000 pounds doesn't always maintain the upper hand when a lone hippo leaves the water. Its instincts rely on weight and bite force to control space. But on land, each step becomes heavier. The gaps become more apparent, so tension builds and leads to a sense of impending danger. It is from this perceived danger that the lionesses begin to spread out in an arc to observe, calculate, and coordinate. They maintain a safe distance but constantly pressure the hippo's direction of movement, forcing it to turn and react repeatedly until it is cornered and forced to run at full speed. In this cornered chase, the hippo is forced to rush back into the river and enter the water to maintain a safe distance. The lionesses stop at the river's edge and do not advance further. No one is killed, and there is no clear victory. The limits on both sides remain, and the balance of survival continues. In life-or-death encounters, raw power is only one factor. The ability to maintain distance, sustain pressure, and react at the right moment is what creates an advantage. Each species relies on instinct, its habitat and coordination skills to attack, defend, or retreat when necessary. In the wild, survival belongs to the species that knows how to leverage its strengths and make the right choices at critical moments. In the minds of many, the predator always holds the upper hand. A well-timed burst of speed is all it takes to end the hunt. But in nature, every confrontation is governed by unpredictable factors: distance, terrain, timing of attack, and the prey's reaction can change the course of events in seconds. When the advantage is lost, the final outcome depends on adaptability and timing. So, in a hunt, who truly controls the game? Near the riverside grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, buffalo gather in herds to graze and observe. In the Serengeti, they stand near water sources to maintain their vision and support each other. Adults weigh around 1,100 to 2,000 pounds, have broad, curved horns with thick, shield-like bases, and very strong necks and shoulders, allowing them to engage in direct confrontations when approached. From the leeward side, the lion approached close enough and chose to directly confront the herd of buffalo in the dry forest. The lion leaped up and clung to the lion's shoulder to maintain its position. But as soon as it was touched, the buffalo turned straight, lowered their heads, and delivered a powerful horn butt, breaking the lion's grip and causing it to lose its balance at the point of contact. Undeterred by the initial but forceful thrust, the buffalo maintained their facing direction and advanced in step. The lion, unable to hold its position, retreated repeatedly. The buffalo continued to push the lion out of the area, forcing it to retreat after being stunned and showing signs of minor injury, while the buffaloes moved out of the danger zone in a dominant position. After a short but tense confrontation, the result showed that when shifting to a direct confrontation, the buffaloes could regain the advantage in a very short time. At close range, the side that maintains its direction and position controls the entire situation and determines the final outcome. Along the rivers and slow-flowing waters of sub-Saharan Africa, hippos congregate in groups in shallow areas to control territory and observe. In the Nile and Serengeti, they rest while watching for other animals to drink. Adults have wide jaws and a powerful bite that gives them an advantage when approached closely, making collisions easily escalate into direct confrontations. In a sparsely forested dry area, a lone lion spotted a hippo resting and approached from a hidden position, gradually closing the distance. When only a few meters remained, the lion prepared to charge. At that moment, the hippo lifted its head, sprang to its feet, opened its jaws wide, and lunged straight forward, forcing the lion to constantly change direction to avoid a collision. At the point of impact, the pressure peaked, preventing the lion from maintaining the initiative, and its attack was halted. Faced with the overwhelming pressure from its larger and more powerful opponent, the lion was forced to retreat and quickly withdraw from the area. The hippo maintained its position and ended the situation in the dominant position. In the savannas and open forests of sub-Saharan Africa, giraffes live in wide areas with excellent visibility. In the Serengeti, they feed on leaves at higher altitudes while antelopes and zebras feed below, reducing competition for food. Standing nearly 16 feet tall and weighing around 2,600 pounds, they can easily detect danger early. This advantage means that every approach by the predator must begin cautiously and from a considerable distance. From the edge of the clearing, a pride of lions spotted their target standing apart from the pride and began to disperse. They then accelerated as they got close enough. One lion lunged at the shoulder, another pressed close behind. But at the most critical moment, the giraffe spun around and delivered a powerful kick from its hind leg. The force of the counterattack enough to force one lion back and disrupt the attack. After several unsuccessful attempts to approach, the pride of lions gradually lost their advantage. One lion, affected by the kick, slowed down, forcing the group to adjust. The giraffe held its position, constantly shifting its direction to avoid being caught. Finally, the pride of lions stopped and retreated, accepting the end of the hunt without success. This situation demonstrates how size and reflexes determine the outcome. The giraffe maintained its distance thanks to its timely reaction. A precise defensive move can disrupt an entire approach. In nature, lions don't always maintain their advantage. Along the vast savannas and grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, African wild dogs move in packs and utilize the open terrain to observe from a distance. In the Serengeti, they form groups when hunting, coordinating as a team and maintaining speed over long distances, thereby rapidly closing the distance and increasing pressure. At the edge of a dry grassland, a lone lion spotted a pack of wild dogs moving and began approaching from a hidden position. When close enough, the lion suddenly lunged to catch up with an individual at the edge of the group. The moment of impact, the entire pack immediately changed direction, pressing from multiple directions, creating a continuous encirclement. The relentless pressure from multiple directions forced the lion to retreat at the point of impact, unable to maintain its position. A close-range attack slightly stunned the lion, forcing it to retreat further, creating an opening to escape. The pack of wild dogs maintained their distance and continued to apply pressure, forcing the lion to retreat and leave the area. In the savannas, grasslands, and semi-deserts of sub-Saharan Africa, Hyenas move in large packs and maintain a wide field of vision. In the Serengeti, they operate in groups of dozens, controlling territories that can stretch from tens to over 100 miles. Their bodies, weighing between 90 and 140 pounds, their strong jaws, and their ability to coordinate as a pack help maintain constant pressure, quickly closing the distance between the two sides. Near the edge of the forest, a lioness separated from the pride and watched the approaching hyena pack, keeping low and waiting for the right moment. When the opportunity arose, the lioness sprang to subdue her target. But as soon as she made contact, several hyenas immediately turned, attacking from both sides, forcing the lioness to constantly maneuver in a very short distance. The pressure from multiple directions made it difficult for the lioness to maintain her position and momentum. One close approach slightly stunned the lioness, forcing her to retreat, creating an opening to escape. The lioness accelerated away from the encirclement, forced to retreat when she could no longer maintain the initiative. In this situation, the hyena's numerical advantage and coordination allowed them to control the surrounding space. When pressure is maintained continuously from multiple directions, the besieged party struggles to maintain a stable position. The result shows that controlling distance and the pace of approach are the decisive factors in the outcome. In the large rivers, lakes, and swamps of sub-Saharan Africa, crocodiles often lie at the water's edge where the current is slow, lying in ambush. In the Mara and Serengeti rivers, they position themselves near shallow banks, watching migrating species and waiting for the opportune moment. With their large weight, powerful jaws, and effective camouflage, crocodiles control the shallow water, making any approach to the water's edge quickly turn into a direct confrontation. On the muddy riverbank, a lion approached the water's edge after spotting a motionless crocodile. Gradually closing the distance, it lowered its body and prepared to pounce. But just as it got close, the crocodile opened its jaws and twisted its body sharply, immediately shifting to a direct confrontation at the point of contact. At the moment of contact, when the pressure peaked, the lion lost its position and its attack momentum was cut short. The force of the throw and the jaws constricting forced the lion back, creating space to escape. The lion quickly retreated, while the crocodile returned to its original position and regained control of the water's edge. From this event, it can be seen that environment and position play a decisive role in close-range situations. When distance is narrowed in a confined space, the ability to react quickly and control one's position becomes crucial. Amidst the harsh deserts and semi-deserts of Africa and the Middle East, oryxes thrive in conditions where many other species struggle to adapt. In the Namib and Kalahari, they utilize their long-range vision to detect changes early. The open terrain and arid climate provide excellent visibility and few obstacles, making any movement easily detectable and quickly reducing safe distances in this environment. In the arid lands of the Savannah, a pride of lions spotted an oryx that had separated from the pride and was silently closing in from multiple directions. As the distance narrowed, one lion accelerated to try and subdue it from behind. Immediately, the oryx turned and lowered its head, its long, sharp horns thrust backward, causing the lion to lose its balance and release its grip. At that moment, all attempts at approach were ineffective. The oryx maintained its distance with short, precise movements and reactions, putting the lion at risk. After several unsuccessful attempts, the pride gradually retreated, while the oryx maintained its defense until it was out of the safe zone. While not the strongest species in the savannah, African wild dogs are still capable of turning the tide against opponents many times larger. From riverbanks and grasslands to open forests, each encounter relies not on individual strength, but on coordination, distance control, and timing. What has enabled this predator to repeatedly gain the advantage, forcing even dangerous opponents to change their approach? On the vast grasslands, savannas of sub-Saharan Africa, African wild dogs live in grasslands, open forests, and semi-arid areas with seasonal water sources. They need ample space to move and hunt, and often choose locations with good visibility. Open environments allow the pack to spot prey early and maintain an advantage in pursuits. African wild dogs are pack predators with one of the most effective coordinated abilities in nature. Each individual plays a distinct role in the pursuit, constantly taking turns leading to maintain speed and stamina. They rely on solidarity, signal communication, and rapid adaptation, enabling the pack to take down prey many times larger than themselves. Amidst the vast grasslands of the Serengeti and Masai Mara, wildebeest congregate in large numbers and migrate along water sources seasonally. Over 1.5 million individuals migrate to areas with fresh grass and wide visibility to detect danger. In such open environments, young stay close to their mothers for protection, especially when the herd begins to shift and gaps appear. In the open forest, the pack of wild dogs spotted a mother and calf wildebeest and fanned out in multiple directions. They moved to create pressure and waited for the opportune moment. When the calf strayed from a safe position, the pack forced the mother wildebeest to constantly turn to defend herself. When the balance was broken, the mother wildebeest tried to approach to protect her calf, but could not maintain her balance against the multiple approaching directions. The pack of dogs took turns advancing and retreating, putting pressure on the calf. When it could no longer maintain its position, the calf was subdued and lost its ability to move, and the hunt ended with the wild dogs gaining the advantage. In many African ecosystems, leopards are found from the savanna to the forests of Congo and South Africa. with the ability to climb trees to avoid lions and hyenas. This adaptability allows them to avoid a fixed environment and easily change their area of activity. However, when moving alone through dry forests and open areas, their camouflage begins to diminish, and maintaining their location becomes more difficult. In that dry forest, the pack of wild dogs encountered the lone leopard and quickly dispersed in multiple directions. They didn't attack immediately, but harassed it rhythmically, forcing the leopard to react quickly. When the leopard turned to counterattack from one direction, the remaining individuals closed in from behind, forcing it to constantly change direction. The counterattack was no longer sustainable. The leopard couldn't maintain its strength against multiple approaches. The pack of dogs increased the pressure in a circular fashion, wearing down its ability to hold its position. When it could no longer control its position, the leopard found an opening and retreated into the bushes, and the confrontation ended with the wild dogs having the advantage. In the vast savannas of sub-Saharan Africa, lions are concentrated in the Serengeti and Masai Mara, where prey migrates seasonally. A lioness, weighing around 150 to 250 kilograms and possessing very strong shoulders and neck, often ambushes near water sources to increase her hunting efficiency. When she leaves her advantageous territory and moves alone into open space, her ability to control the situation begins to change. Near that area, in an open clearing by the river's edge, the pack of wild dogs spotted the approaching lioness and quickly dispersed in multiple directions. They maintained their distance, moved nimbly, and waited for the first reaction. As soon as the lioness lunged to attack one of the dogs, the entire pack simultaneously closed in from behind, forcing her to release the dog. As her ability to resist diminished, the lioness tried to maintain her position and counterattack, but couldn't stay stable against the pack's rhythmic movements. The dogs advanced and retreated in unison, maintaining constant pressure. When the risk of injury increased, the lioness broke through the encirclement and retreated toward the water, thus ending the confrontation with the wild dogs holding the advantage. In the grasslands of East and Southern Africa, such as Kenya and Tanzania, impalas live in bush savannas near water sources, where they can easily observe and move around. In the Serengeti, they often appear at the edge of the forest to guard an escape route when necessary. Their light bodies and quick reflexes help them maintain high speeds on open terrain, but the danger increases as they approach water areas. Beside a large river, a pack of wild dogs spotted an impala swimming in the middle of the stream and positioned themselves along the bank. They held their positions, watched its swimming rhythm, and waited for the opportune moment. When the impala slowed down and lost its balance, one dog lunged into the water, forcing it to react immediately. As its swimming rhythm slowed, The impala tried to speed up to escape the danger, but the pack quickly rushed in to assist from multiple directions. They coordinated their positions, controlled its movement, and pulled the prey towards the bank. When it could no longer maintain its safety, the impala was overwhelmed, and the hunt ended quickly thanks to the coordinated efforts of the entire pack. Warthog live in grasslands and open woodlands, often near water sources and short grasses where they can eat and observe. They avoid densely wooded areas to maintain their ability to run and change direction. In Serengeti, warthog usually stay near burrow entrances for quick retreat when needed. But once they leave their burrows into open ground, the distance to their shelter increases, and danger begins to appear. In the open field, the pack of wild dogs encountered the warthog and scattered in various directions, maintaining a stable formation. They moved slowly, observing the warthog's reaction and waiting for the right moment. When the warthog turned, lowering its body to defend itself, one group held the front to stabilize its direction, while others circled around to the rear, gradually closing the gap. The defensive direction was no longer stable. The warthog spun around continuously, but could not control its approach. The pack of dogs relentlessly pressed forward, weakening its mobility. When it could no longer maintain a safe position, the warthog was subdued, and the hunt ended with the wild dogs gaining the advantage. Around grasslands, wild buffalo are widely distributed in areas with abundant grass and near water sources, where they migrate seasonally in search of new food. An adult weighs approximately 500 to 900 kilograms, has large horns, and can reach speeds of 50 to 55 kilometers per hour. When separated from the herd and crossing shallow water, the distance to support decreases, and thus their ability to control the situation begins to weaken. At the riverside, the pack of wild dogs spotted a lone buffalo and quickly closed the distance in a direct line. They didn't spread out too wide, maintaining a formation in front, constantly applying pressure. When the buffalo lowered its head defensively, the pack took turns closing in, forcing it to constantly retreat and adjust its position. As its movement became unstable, the buffalo couldn't maintain its distance from multiple approaches. The pack of dogs applied continuous pressure, slowing its pace. When it could no longer hold its position, the buffalo was dragged away from the water's edge, and the hunt ended with the wild dogs gaining the advantage. Along tropical and subtropical regions, crocodiles are commonly found in the Nile River, lakes, and estuaries, where prey is forced to pass. They lie still near the water's edge, waiting for the opportune moment. Their bodies, over 12 feet long and weighing nearly 1,000 pounds, possess a bite force of approximately 3,000 to 5,000 pounds per square inch, allowing them to effectively control their target. However, when they move away from the water's edge to bask in the sun, their speed decreases, and their ability to change direction is limited, creating periods when they are easily observed. Beneath the green grass near the water's edge, a pack of stray dogs foraging for food spotted a crocodile basking in the sun. They moved slowly, observing its reaction and closing the distance in short bursts. When the crocodile began to turn repeatedly to defend itself, the dogs simultaneously changed direction, causing it to veer off course and constantly adjust. With its environmental advantage gone, the crocodile opened its jaws and turned. But each change of direction revealed a gap. The dogs advanced and retreated in a steady rhythm, maintaining constant pressure. When the disadvantage on land became clear, the crocodile broke free and darted towards the water, while the dogs stopped at the edge of the bank, forcing it to retreat. Beneath seemingly tranquil waters, a crocodile may lie motionless for minutes, waiting for the slightest slip-up from its prey. Once the distance closes, the ambush strikes swiftly, forcing the quarry to react with every ounce of strength and instinct for survival. Some hunts succeed, while others end in retreat. What is it, then, that makes each encounter so unpredictable? In sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in the east, lions inhabit savannas, grasslands, scrublands, open woodlands, and some semi-arid regions. Their bodies are heavy and robust, featuring well-developed muscles in the shoulders, neck, and forelimbs that provide balance and the power to fight back when threatened. In this instance, a lion leaves the bank and begins swimming across a wide stretch of river. As the lion reaches the middle of the channel, a crocodile silently changes course, accelerates from behind, and launches a surprise attack. The crocodile's jaws clamp onto the lion's body, prompting the big cat to thrash violently and struggle to break free. Refusing to let go, the crocodile drags its prey into deeper water, turning the ambush into a tense tug of war. Despite the crocodile's relentless pulling, the lion fights back fiercely, twisting its body and using its powerful forelimbs to push toward the shore. The crocodile attempts to tighten its grip, but the lion's vigorous resistance causes it to lose the upper hand. Suddenly, the lion breaks free, lunging rapidly into the shallows and leaving the crocodile behind. This encounter demonstrates that while crocodiles hold the advantage during underwater ambushes, success is not guaranteed. Thanks to the strength in its shoulders, neck, and forelimbs, the lion is able to resist and buy enough time to escape the danger. Ultimately, the crocodile is forced to abandon its target and retreat into the river. Across the vast African grasslands, the cheetah stands out for its extraordinary acceleration. In short bursts, it can reach speeds of 60 to 70 miles per hour, aided by a slender, lightweight build, long legs, a flexible spine, and a tail that acts as a stabilizer during sharp turns. Yet, when the cheetah lowers itself to the water's edge to drink, that explosive speed offers little of the advantage it enjoys on land. Lurking nearby, a crocodile keeps its body submerged, silently closing the distance before suddenly lunging out of the water. Upon being clamped in the crocodile's jaws, the cheetah thrashes violently, twisting its body and clawing at the bank in a desperate bid to escape. The crocodile drags its prey toward deeper water, while the cheetah continues to struggle fiercely, fighting back and attempting to pull itself back toward the shore. Despite the cheetah's ferocious resistance, the crocodile maintains its grip, hauling the prey further from the bank. The cheetah twists and kicks with its hind legs, trying to break free, but as it is pulled deeper, its speed advantage vanishes. Its resistance eventually fades. The crocodile overpowers its prey and emerges victorious, claiming the cheetah as its meal. In East and Southern Africa, wildebeests inhabit vast savannas and grasslands, ranging from open plains to areas of sparse scrub, where the availability of grass and water fluctuates with the seasons. They travel in massive herds that can number in the thousands during migration. Weighing between 180 and 250 kilograms, they remain constantly vigilant against predators, using their horns and powerful kicks to defend themselves when cornered. Yet, the herd must eventually venture into rivers where crocodiles lie in wait. At one such river crossing, a crocodile stealthily approaches beneath the surface, waiting for the wildebeests to move deeper in. In a split second, it suddenly accelerates, lunging straight at a straggler and sending the rest of the herd into a panicked flight. The wildebeest attempts to twist free, but the crocodile clamps its jaws onto a foreleg and hauls the animal away from the herd. Dragged far from its companions, the wildebeest struggles violently, fighting back continuously while trying to reach the bank. The crocodile refuses to let go, maintaining its grip and dragging the prey into deeper water. As its resistance fades, the hunt concludes with the crocodile victorious, claiming the wildebeest as the sustenance it needs to survive. Across the rivers, lakes, and wetlands of sub-Saharan Africa, including South Africa, hippos spend much of the day submerged in deep water. They are fiercely territorial, particularly when their aquatic domain is encroached upon. It is this instinct that causes tensions to flare rapidly whenever crocodiles appear along the banks. In one such instance, most crocodiles scrambled into the water as a hippo suddenly charged to drive them away, yet one individual held its ground. The crocodile whipped around, jaws agape, and snapped back as the hippo pressed the attack, closing the gap between the two adversaries. Faced with the hippo's relentless advance, the crocodile was forced to retreat rapidly toward the water's edge, while attempting to fend off its rival. Pushed to the water's edge, the crocodile attempted one final counterattack, but could not maintain its position. it quickly changed direction, slid into the river, and withdrew from the area, bringing the confrontation to an end. The hippo retained control of the riverbank, while the crocodile lost the battle for territory. During the cooler parts of the day, buffalo often move toward water sources scattered across the savannas, grasslands, and open woodlands of sub-Saharan Africa. An adult weighs between 660 and 1,900 pounds, boasting a muscular build, broad shoulders, a powerful neck, and sturdy legs that enable it to defend itself when threatened. As it approaches the water's edge, a buffalo suddenly slips into deeper water. From its hiding spot beneath the murky water, the crocodile instantly changes direction and accelerates while the buffalo struggles to regain its footing. The crocodile lunges, clamping its jaws onto the prey and dragging it away from the bank. The buffalo thrashes violently, refusing to yield, and twists its massive body to fight back. Each time the buffalo tries to surge forward, the crocodile pulls it back, intensifying the tug-of-war. After several rounds of pulling, the crocodile drags its prey further from the shore. The buffalo thrashes desperately in a bid to escape, but gradually succumbs to exhaustion. Finally, the crocodile gains total control and brings the hunt to an end. The buffalo becomes a source of food, playing its part in sustaining the food chain and ecological balance. Across the savannas, open woodlands, and scrublands of sub-Saharan Africa, elephants travel vast distances in search of water and food. An adult male African savanna elephant weighs between 10,000 and 13,000 pounds, boasting a massive frame, powerful legs, and a versatile trunk. In this instance, an inexperienced young elephant has strayed from the herd and is slowly making its way toward the water ahead. Beneath the nearly still surface, a crocodile stealthily closes in, keeping its body low and narrowing the gap as the elephant descends into the water. It adjusts its approach, accelerating as the target draws near. However, faced with the elephant's immense size, strength, and formidable defensive capabilities, the crocodile quickly slows down, halts, and maintains a safe distance just before committing to a direct attack. Instead of pressing the issue, the crocodile begins to back away from the strike zone. The elephant continues toward the shore without a confrontation, while the crocodile changes direction and retreats into deeper water. The ambush ends with the crocodile's withdrawal, a prudent choice given that the risks outweighed the chances of success. As the day heats up on the African plains, herds of impala often seek out familiar watering holes. Inhabiting the savannas, grasslands, woodlands, and scrublands of East and Southern Africa, they remain constantly alert, watching, listening, and sniffing for danger. When pursued, impalas can change direction rapidly and rely on the herd to detect threats early. Beneath the murky water, a crocodile silently closes in. As an impala lowers its head to drink, the crocodile suddenly lunges, clamping its jaws shut and dragging the animal into the depths, sending the rest of the herd scattering in panic. The impala thrashes and struggles frantically to break free, but a second crocodile quickly moves in, intensifying the battle. The crocodile holds the advantage during the tug-of-war, pulling its prey further from the bank. The impala fights to return to the water's edge, but its resistance weakens as the two crocodiles maintain their grip. The hunt ends in victory for the crocodiles, while the impala becomes a source of sustenance, playing its part in the predator-prey relationship and the natural ecological balance. Across the African grasslands, hyenas do not merely forage for food. They constantly contend with rivals that are stronger, faster, or more numerous. At times they hunt, at others they compete for resources, and sometimes they must fight back simply to survive. The tide of any encounter can turn in a matter of seconds. Yet, when a hyena decides to press the attack against the most dangerous of adversaries, what unfolds? Across the open woodlands, grasslands, and savannas of Africa, the leopard adapts to a wide range of environments. Its muscular, agile body, featuring powerful shoulders, a strong neck, and robust forelimbs, allows it to secure prey, while its climbing ability offers a strategic advantage in avoiding competition. However, on the ground, a food source can quickly spark a direct confrontation with another predator. The conflict begins when a hyena, already in possession of a meal, spots an approaching leopard. The hyena immediately clamps down on the carcass and growls a warning, lunging to intercept its rival as the gap closes. The leopard continues to advance, forcing the hyena to simultaneously drag the prize toward itself and pivot to counterattack in defense of its meal. The struggle to hold on to the food compels the hyena to fight back more fiercely. It repeatedly bites and hauls the carcass, lunging in retaliation whenever the leopard attempts to seize it. Yet, the opponent remains relentless, using its powerful forelimbs to pin the food and maintain pressure, gradually stripping the hyena of its initial advantage. As its advantage slips away, the hyena faces a final choice. It attempts a few more counter moves, but the leopard holds firm, refusing to yield the contested prize. Ultimately, the hyena retreats, accepting defeat. The encounter illustrates a fundamental truth of the wild. Persisting in a conflict is only worthwhile when the potential reward outweighs the risk of injury. Across the vast grasslands of East and Southern Africa, wildebeests often travel great distances in search of fresh grass and water. When danger arises, a swift flight response allows them to widen the gap between themselves and predators, enabling them to regain the safety of the herd. However, a calf lagging behind creates just enough of a gap for a pack of hyenas to begin their pursuit. That gap immediately triggers the hyenas to accelerate and close in on the calf. They repeatedly force it to change direction before suddenly lunging into the midst of the fleeing herd, throwing the group into disarray and causing them to scatter. Amidst the frantic running, the calf becomes separated from its kin, and the hyenas quickly lock onto their isolated target. The isolated target immediately faces intensified pressure from the entire pack. Taking turns, the hyenas crowd the calf, forcing it to change course and constantly narrowing the distance whenever it attempts to rejoin the herd. Exhausted by the prolonged chase, the calf is ultimately unable to pull away and is subdued by the pack, bringing the hunt to a close. The successful hunt provides a vital food source for the hyena pack. The prey's meat supplies the protein and energy needed to sustain their activity, movement, and continued hunting across the savanna. This success highlights the crucial roles that stamina, coordination, and target isolation play in the hyena's hunting strategy. Across the vast savanna, a rhinoceros moves slowly, constantly monitoring the sounds around it. These massive creatures can weigh over 5,000 pounds, possessing powerful shoulders, necks, and legs that provide stability and generate immense force during a charge. Since eyesight is not their strong suit, their keen sense of smell and acute hearing allow them to quickly detect unusual signals approaching from behind. Those signals soon become unmistakable as a pack of hyenas begins to fan out behind the rhino. Some suddenly dart in to nip at its tail before quickly retreating, while others constantly shift direction to maintain pressure from the flanks. The rhino wheels around and charges straight at the nearest attackers, forcing the pack to scatter. But within seconds, the hyenas close in again. The chase intensifies as the rhino accelerates toward others of its kind. It constantly changes direction and counterattacks whenever the hyenas get too close, eventually drawing support from other rhinos and forcing the pack to back off. Yet the hyenas remain in pursuit, waiting for a new opportunity. With neither side gaining the upper hand, the confrontation remains unresolved. Across the savannas, grasslands, and scrublands of sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in East Africa, lions possess heavy, muscular bodies and the ability to accelerate rapidly over short distances, allowing them to close in on prey and react swiftly to danger. When a solitary lion rests on the plains, the quiet is shattered as a nearby pack of hyenas spots it from afar and begins to watch. Upon detecting their rival, the hyenas approach from multiple directions, initially keeping their distance before gradually tightening the circle. Spotted hyenas live in social groups known as clans. This numerical advantage allows them to pressure even larger adversaries. Suddenly, a hyena from behind lunges forward, causing the lion to spring up with a loud roar and spin quickly to counterattack, forcing the nearest hyenas to instantly retreat. As a gap opens, others immediately close in from the flanks. The lion constantly shifts direction, lunging and lashing out whenever a hyena ventures too close, while the pack takes turns darting in and out to dodge its blows. After repeated skirmishes, the lion loses control of the situation and is forced to climb a low tree to escape the encircling pack. The confrontation only truly subsides after the lion leaves its position on the ground. Although its strength, speed, and counterattacking ability allowed it to hold the pack at bay briefly, the hyena's superior numbers and multi-directional approach ultimately gave them the upper hand. In the end, the coordinated pressure of the pack forced the lion to retreat from the area. Along the banks of rivers, lakes, swamps, and wetlands in tropical Africa, crocodiles often operate close to the water's edge. Their ability to learn, memorize locations, and adjust their behavior helps them adapt to changes in their feeding grounds. Right at the water's edge, the food held by the crocodile attracts a pack of hyenas, which begin to close in. Seizing the moment when the distance is right, the hyenas fan out and suddenly approach from multiple directions. Individual hyenas dart in to harass the reptile before quickly retreating, forcing the crocodile to whip its body around, snap its jaws in retaliation, and struggle to hold on to its prize. Faced with these constantly shifting approaches, the crocodile is forced to pivot repeatedly while the pressure from the pack intensifies. After repeated incursions, the crocodile begins to lose its position over the food. Although it continues to spin around to counterattack and attempts to regain ground, the hyenas press their advantage until their opponent is forced back to the water's edge. Ultimately, the pack seizes the prize, triumphing through sheer numbers, persistence, and coordinated attacks from multiple angles. Across the savannas, grasslands, open woodlands, and semi-arid scrublands of sub-Saharan Africa, African wild dogs live and hunt in packs. Their strength lies in their ability to coordinate, observe, and single out targets that have become separated from their group before giving chase. Near a small stream, the pack suddenly spotted a hyena lying in the water and began silently closing the distance. Once close enough, the pack broke formation to approach from multiple directions. The hyena burst from the water, spun rapidly, and lunged straight at the nearest dogs, forcing them to retreat to avoid its counterattack. The wild dogs circled back to press the attack, but whenever the net tightened, the hyena would roar loudly and lunge back, disrupting their offensive rhythm. Repeated counterattacks raised the stakes. Despite being alone, the hyena held its ground, constantly moving and retaliating whenever the wild dogs attempted to flank it. In the wild, predators always weigh the risk of injury against the potential reward. After several failed attempts to close in, the pack was forced to withdraw. Ultimately, the decision to retreat brought the tense standoff to an end. Although the wild dogs held the advantage in numbers and coordination, the hyena's superior strength, powerful jaws, and close-quarters defensive capabilities prevailed. Faced with the high risk of injury, the pack was compelled to abandon the attack. Across the vast grasslands, open woodlands, and scrublands of East Africa, zebras often travel in herds in search of grazing and water. Adult plains zebras weigh between 385 and 850 pounds, boasting sturdy bodies and muscular legs built for endurance running. While herd life aids in early predator detection, a zebra that falls behind creates a dangerous gap between itself and the rest of the group. That gap instantly triggers a shift in the hyena pack from observation to pursuit. Accelerating and closing in from behind, they force the zebra to constantly change direction while the main herd flees in panic. The harder the zebra tries to rejoin its companions, the further it is driven off course, ultimately finding itself isolated amidst the intense chase. This isolation allows the hyena pack to rapidly close the distance. Taking turns flanking the zebra, they force it to twist and turn in defense while running, but its strength gradually wanes under the relentless pressure. Finally, the pack subdues its prey. The hunt concludes, providing a meal for the group and helping to maintain the natural ecological balance. Through every encounter, hyenas demonstrate the endurance, coordination, and tenacity that allow the pack to gain the upper hand against a variety of rivals. Yet, every victory or defeat reflects the same fundamental rule. In the wild, survival hinges on strength, strategy, and the ability to gauge the right moment. On the African savannah, those who endure longest are often the ones who know when to advance and when to hold back.